مرحبا، مشوارنا اليوم كتير حلو. جينا على منطقة أسكس. مشوارنا مختلف عن المشاوير. جينا عند ليدي اسمها فيونا أوكس. فيونا هي ماراثون رانر ونازلة بكتاب جينيس بوك كمان. هي أنيمال أكتيفيست رايت، بتدافع مدافعة كبيرة عن الحيوانات، وهي كمان أمباسادور سفيرة للفيغانيزم، يعني للنباتيين. هيدي السنشوري اسمها تاور هيل ستيبلز أنيمال. هلأ رح نتعرف ورح نشوف الأحصنة ورح نشوف حيوانات كتير كيف هي بتدافع عنهم وكيف بتجيبهم بتخلصهم. رح نبرم بالستيبل تبعها. يلا Hi Fiona.
Hi Lena, wonderful to welcome you to our home.
Thank you for letting us coming here.
Oh, it's a pleasure, it's an honour.
Veganism is going big right now.
Yeah.
To save, the earth.
Yeah.
As well, very important things about you because you run to raise money for your animal.
I do, yeah. And I run to promote veganism, that's why.
And I heard about you, you are the toughest woman ever in the UK.
I don't know about that, but
that's what they told me about you.
I lead a pretty hectic life, yeah.
They told me she's a very strong woman. She's vegan since she was 6 years old.
Vegan since I was 6 years old.
And even you had something in your life. You had a tumor.
Yeah.
You had knee replacement.
Yep. Knees, not even a replacement. I just had the kneecap removed. So
really?
That, running was not the first choice for me in terms of I was told that I would never be able to walk properly again, let alone run when I was a teenager because of the multiple surgeries that I'd had. Oh. And some people say, well, why did you start running? I got the sanctuary, I achieved what I thought was my ultimate goal, to have a place where I could take in and rehabilitate and rescue animals and give them a forever home. But after a few years, I realised that actually that's not addressing the reason that they're actually needing to be rescued. The industry out there needs to be tackled at source. And I was just being kind of reactive rather than proactive to a problem. So I thought, what can I do? What platform can I speak out for the animals? And this was before social media, so you had to kind of find a way of manipulating the mainstream media by getting them interested in you. Paula Radcliffe in the UK, she was doing phenomenally well in the marathon, and I thought at the time, if I could just compete in and hopefully complete a marathon, it just proves that as a long-time vegan, you can do anything, even the most extreme endurance event, as it was billed at the time.
Fiona, people think if you are vegan, you're not strong, you're not healthy.
Yeah, that's absolutely
It's the opposite. I know this because I'm vegan too.
Yeah,
and you run miles and miles and miles, and you are very fit, very healthy now.
Yeah. I've been doing this for decades. I am very fit. I am healthy. I think everything combines with everything else. So I don't just run marathons. That's not solely exclusive what I do. I have a very arduous day outside at the sanctuary. I've been a firefighter, that's kind of a very strenuous and physical profession in itself. My whole stance was that when I went out to promote veganism, I wanted to do it in a positive, peaceful and proactive way. And I didn't want to say that it would enhance your life. I was going to say it's not detrimental to doing anything. It's not stopping me from doing anything. I didn't plan to break world records. I didn't plan to place in the London Marathon.
To be in Guinness book as well.
Yeah, no, I didn't plan any of that. Literally, I started off like anyone else. I will simply go out and see if I can jog. And the jog turned to running. And within 2 years, the grand plan of completing and completing a marathon turned into standing on the elite start line at the London Marathon next to Paula Radcliffe, who had originally inspired me by her prodigious success and the platform she had to actually go and like place in the London Marathon. And I kind of did that for a few years, and I got a marathon PB of 2:38. And I realised that actually it's really, really hard effort, and I'm not probably getting what I want from it in terms of, yeah, I'm picking up, you know, good results, but I'm not getting the interest from the media in terms of the veganism.
How do you encourage people to become vegan and not to think we're not healthy?
I think it's leading by example. The actions do speak louder than words. And that's why in 2004 we started the Vegan Runners, because we wanted that word vegan out on my running vest. So when you're actually walking into an elite enclosure of a race with the Kenyans and the Africans, people subliminally can actually see it there. She's a good runner, she's vegan. When I kind of worked towards marathon running, it was very, very important to me that on kind of 2 points. Yes, to promote veganism, obviously, but also to empower women. I think people forget the first Olympic marathon, which was open to women, was only 1984. Before then, women in general were considered too weak and inadequate to run a marathon. So you've literally got the two things that I'm trying to say. Women can run marathons, they can run them really quick and really well, and certainly so can vegan women too. So that, you know, it's empowering, and you know, a whole section of society that very often get overlooked.
Fiona, it's very important to know, is the veganism connected to the climate change these days?
I believe that veganism is certainly a part of the solution to climate change, yes, but it's fundamentally, intrinsically, lots of factors involved. Obviously, the CO2 emissions of animals in animal agriculture is very, very important to climate change. But I think veganism is not just about what you eat on your plate, it's your ethical stance and belief and the way you connect with everything around you. Yeah. It's obviously a way you relate to yourself and your own body. I believe it is very, very healthy. But actually, by being vegan, it allows fairer distribution of the world's resources throughout the planet, so other people can have a better lifestyle too.
I like to know, what do you eat, the style of food do you eat?
I eat very, very plain food. I don't buy any of the processed vegan products that have become very popular at the moment.
Yes.
Because I've never actually had them or craved them. What you've never had, you never miss. I am fortunate, I live with my parents. My mum does all the cooking. So we will buy dry beans.
So you cook vegan at home?
Mum does all the vegan beans, pulses, rice, pasta. Very, very basic. Nuts, lots of nuts, dates, fruit, locally sourced if you can. So it's very, very basic vegetables and very, very old mantra. My grandma always used to say that you have as many colours on your plate as possible. So Mum always tried to do 10 colours on the plate. So I like things like beetroot.
Eat
a colourful platter.
Yeah,
but
that's
very,
healthy, very healthy.
And the very, very strange thing about me that I was always very, very reluctant to say is that I only eat one meal a day. And I eat nothing.
Only 1 meal a day?
1 meal a day.
Big meal?
Not particularly huge meal, and nothing in between.
And you are a marathon runner, and you are very healthy to run miles and miles and miles.
And you know,
tell them vegan are very healthy.
So I'm not a big food fixator. Just as long as I've got enough, I actually understand the blessing of having enough, because I understand that many don't have that privilege.
Yes.
And I think that's very important.
And I like to talk about your sanctuary. How did you start all of this?
Well,
did you have money to start?
No, we had nothing. No, we had nothing. I came to London to work. I worked in the city, I worked in banking, just basically to pay my bills. But I started to rescue animals in the property I was living in. I was actually living in a rented property at the time, and I'd got a menagerie of dogs and cats and chinchillas and hamsters and a couple of chickens. And then the
your flat?
It was a house that I'd rented. And then horror upon horror, one day there was a knock on the door, and it was the landlady, and she said, "I'm selling the house, and by the way, what are all these animals doing here?" And I had to buy somewhere, and so I bought a property in Ongar. And rescued more animals, and the large animals, the horses, had to go.
You can't put them in the flat.
No, so they had to go to a farm. The whole of my family, great aunts, grandparents, everybody chipped in anything they'd got to try and get the opportunity of buying a small piece of land where the animals that I'd already rescued could be safe under my care. And there is a kind of funny story, like my great aunt, she's 98 years old at the time she was, and when she knew there was the slightest possibility of Fiona fulfilling this dream, she got under a bed, under a mattress, she got a sock with £1,000 for a funeral pushed into it, and she said, "Give it to her, and I'll just have to make sure I don't die just yet." And that's how the sanctuary happened.
How do you survive, Fiona? You have lots of animals. How many are them here? Is a lot of them?
There's a lot of them when you go out and see
them. How many
them.
Horses here?
There's about 100 horses altogether.
100 horses. They need lots of food.
They need lots of food. They need lots of forage. All rescued. Every animal is rescued, as well as the cattle.
From where do you get them?
It's from pig farms. Cattle farms, racing industry, retired horses.
And they get attached to you, and they know you. They know you are helping them. The animals sense.
I think the animals sense that I'm helping them, definitely. But I don't want to put myself on a pedestal of saying that, oh, I'm the saviour of these animals. I am the conduit of saving these animals. I am trying to provide for them. I don't consider what I am doing as anything particularly special, because that would be like saying all I'm doing is right. So you don't want commending for just making the simple decision to do what is right, and that's kind of where I come from. So they understand that I'm helping them, but generally speaking, they see me as the provider, and honestly, they'd rather be amongst each other. They are herd animals. Cattle are herd animals. They like to be in a large herd, and that's why I choose to keep the animals as I do, which is in a herd. So they're kept big and small, kept together. Very often, they're segregated by sex and size. I don't do that. I let them all go out together.
How do you spend? By donation?
Many thousands a month, and it goes up and up and up. The cost of everything, as the cost of living for families is going up, it's going up here.
How many hours do you work here?
I'd say here, I get up at 3:30 in the morning, and I generally sit down probably between 8 and 9 o'clock at night. And I will pretty much be on my feet all the time.
Do you get volunteers to help you here?
The thing is here, what I'm trying to provide is a sanctuary for animals. And the one thing that animals need to keep them in this very free environment is continuity. Ad hoc people arriving means that I've got to put in special prevention measures. I can't give the animals all the freedoms they want.
Come on.
Food and shelter. So you've already met Molly and Rose behind. This is Olivia.
She's very
what
big.
They call a Percheron. So she's a heavy working horse. This is Carl.
Wants to smell me first.
Yeah.
Here you are. Is he or she?
He.
You are he. You are he.
The big coloured horse at the back there. That's quite a rare breed. It's a big pin.
Is it Pony, the one over there?
That's a little pony called Marley.
And they live together, Pony and horse?
They came from the same place.
How many types of animal do you have here?
Here I've got horses, cattle, sheep and pigs.
sheep.
Yeah. The other sites, I've got 5 other sites where I've got chickens, pigs, horses and sheep.
And sheep.
Yeah. And the animals...
But do you rescue sheep as well?
Yes. We get asked to take quite a lot of sheep, and we usually take them as lambs and hand rear them.
How long usually they live, the horses?
Small ponies live longer than big horses. So a pony can live to... My oldest pony passed away when he was 48.
Wow.
Race horses live less time. They can probably about 25. The big heavy horses, 20, depending on the size, because it's their heart and the amount of weight they have to carry around. It can vary. It can vary.
Depends how they live.
Yeah, it depends what environment they live in.
Yeah.
So the cattle are over there.
Oh, wow. How many do you have? There's a lot of them,
I've
right?
got 65 cattle.
And babies? No babies?
Yeah, there's some youngsters that have come here as calves, or I've taken cows in that have been assessed as being dangerous cows because they're very, very aggressive. And then when they've arrived, they've given birth. The thing is with the cattle, people don't actually realise how big those animals are. The cattle dwarf the horses, even the big horses like Olivia. They grow and grow and grow.
And they are vegan.
Yeah, I mean that big...
Cows are vegan and look how big they are.
The big Hereford.
Can you have more horses, Fiona, here?
Potentially, yes, but the main problem is just funding it.
Yeah.
Providing this idyll, this sanctuary, is not a problem, but it needs funds to do it.
Costing a lot to do all of this.
It costs many, many, many tens of thousands of pounds to put this fencing in, to be secure for them.
Yes.
That's the main thing. You want them to be secure in their environment. But what I like about it is not just the conditions the animals are in terms of their physical condition, but I think what helps is the conditions of which they're kept in. It's rather beautiful up here.
And the vet bill...
Fresh sea, vet bills can just be whatever you know, thousands. Yeah, thousands.
So we are by the sea here?
Yeah, this is an estuary. These are the guys that just hang up here. They just hang around up in this part. For whatever reason, they live in groups. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they can hang out together and they probably will at feed time.
They come in to introduce themselves. Oh. So beautiful.
Wait, Trojan, no. No, 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 no.
Why?
They can be, if they startle, they can be a little bit possessive.
They surrounded me.
This is the little foal that we nearly lost. This is the little foal we nearly lost.
Bless.
Yeah. Poppy, Ted, Cleveland. Good girl. Good girl.
I do selfie with them. Gee. They surrounded me. Oh, please take photo for me with them. Could you do photos for me, please, with them? I'm surrounded. I love this. Lovely. I adore you.
Do you know what? I mean, without going too deep.
Come, let me help you.
And being silly. Spiritually, this is where I live. I live amongst them as a human, but I'd happily be one of them. Good boy.
Look, this one is doing this to me. Oh.
We go over and see the pigs. Come and see the pigs, everybody.
Come. Come on, babies.
She's very, very nosy. She was actually...
She's stopping me. She's pushing me.
She actually... the police brought her with 2 others.
Really?
And for a long time, I thought she had some sort of failure to thrive condition. I couldn't get weight on her. And then all of a sudden, bang, she just like exploded into this fine young lady that she is.
Bless her.
But over here, we're going to see... Come on, show Cumberland. Show us the pig.
They're following me.
They follow. It's all quite unusual for them. We've got visitors. And they'll get bored soon and she'll herd them off.
Look.
So here I'm going to introduce
so
you to
we go into your little babies.
Yeah, the little babies that are not such
Big
little
giant babies.
Big giant babies. Not intrinsically dangerous, but potentially dangerous just by what they've got attached to the heads and the size of them. They are enormous. They're not in any way vicious. They're very, very relaxed and calm animals, but you've got to respect,
of course,
you know, their physiology and look at them.
They're big.
They are big, and the horns are very sharp and potentially lethal. Potentially lethal. And you've got to be very, very spatially aware to be around them, because you realise that if they turn their head, it's not their head, it's 2-3 foot outside their head.
Wow.
That you're going to be in difficulty.
The horns.
But I mean, I'll tell you now, my vet won't go in the field with them.
Really?
Yeah.
So if they need treatment?
I have to do it. The females and the males both have horns, but the female's horns are upright and the male's horns go out further, and then...
What he is now?
That's male.
Fiona, what do you think the solution for veganism, for rescuing the animal, to make aware the people to respect animals, to love them, to have a balance? What do you think is the solution?
My principle in life, I've never had a grand plan, it's to treat others with respect and the respect you would expect to be treated with yourself, whether that be human, whether that be human or animal. So solutions are manifold. It's about respecting animals, it's about caring for animals, in knock-on caring for the environment, caring for each other, caring for yourself, and just generally being the change you want to see. Live that change and encourage others to do so. And you know, the fact that you might not relate to these animals, you know, that's okay, but you know, they are creatures, they deserve the respect and dignity that you would hope to be afforded yourself. And while ever they aren't, I don't believe that until we can see past species, we'll see past the other problems this world faces. Because the way we relate to these reflects back on the way we relate to ourselves and each other. And that's what's important. They don't deserve any more or less than I do. I'm just trying to provide for them what they need.
Fiona, thank you so much for having us here. And Fiona from Veganism, Animals' Rights, Empowering Women, would like to thank you. And if anyone would like to donate or adopt, they can press on the link beyond. Thank you very much. شكرا كتير. إن شاء الله تكون عجبتكم هالحلقة. Bye.